Welcome to It's Your Life, Own It. My name is Marissa Bludorn. I am your host, and I'm so excited to be with you as always. This platform focuses on personal development. Self awareness should lead to self development, and self development to self mastery. It's not about being perfect, it's about knowing who you are, what makes you tick, and what ticks you off, and how to navigate through this thing called life. Taking center stage and owning it with me on this platform is contributing writers Teresa A. Palmer, and also contributing writer Tiffany Para. But Tiffany Para is also the editor in chief of Phoenix Fitness Fanatics magazine. And so our focus, these upcoming series, is focusing on work life and the spillover effect. And what do I mean by that? Is sometimes life spills over into work. So if things are going a little crazy or a little busy in life, or even sometimes traumatic or dramatic, it can spill over into when you show up for work. And it has an impact on your job and how you show up and your performance on your job. Same thing works vice versa. When work becomes dramatic, stressful, and overwhelming, it can spill over into your personal life. And when you don't realize that this is what's happening, you don't know how to navigate through it. And so in these coming sessions, we're going to be talking about work life and the spillover effect in regards to you taking ownership and responsibility for your role in that. And so, like I said, taking center stage and owning it with me is contributing writers Teresa Ann Palmer.
Hi, everybody.
Contributing writer, but also editor in chief of Phoenix Fitness magazine is Coach Tiffany Para. Hello, 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 and welcome. What a topic to discuss, because I don't think, for the most part, that people are really aware of the spillover effect. We're going through it, and we're living it, but we are not naming it, and we're not understanding. When you don't name it, or when you don't recognize something specifically, you don't even know that you're experiencing it, or you have effect. Us taking responsibility. Share with us, Teresa, your thoughts on this topic in particular.
Well, I think number one, I think we're so used to being chaotic. And by that, I mean we're used to doing so many things at one time that we don't recognize that there is a balance between professional work life, personal life, and we tend to kind of mush it all together. And when we do that, we don't have any clear boundaries as to really what roles we play. We try to play a role at work, we try to play a role at home. And what it does is it takes away from really who we are. And that's why it's really important to be with yourself, to take some time every day to do something that you like, even if it's 5 minutes, a couple of minutes. If you have to get up a little bit earlier, go to bed a little bit later, something that you could do that's just for you, that says, this is who I am. And to eliminate stress, that's also important, because when we mesh all our lives, our different roles together, it becomes very stressful. Mm-hmm. Now, the heart could help us with stress because the heart connects to the vagus nerve, which is the parasympathetic nervous system, the peace and calm. So if we could sit quietly, even for a couple of minutes in the morning and in the night, or be aware of our breathing. And by that, I mean take a deep breath in, hold it for a second, and then exhale slowly. We automatically calm ourselves down. It automatically sets the parasympathetic nervous system. It turns off the stress hormones. And I think we're so used to running on stress hormones that we really don't even realize that we're all in these periods of really chronic stress. You know, they used to call post-traumatic stress, which you saw when soldiers came back from war. And now I really
Mm-hmm.
believe post traumatic stress is everybody, because we're living in that world that tells us we have to be this, that, the other thing. We have to do everything. And you can't do everything at once. Even the brain gets overloaded if you try to do more than two things at one time. You may do 20 things, but you're not really doing any of them that well. So, I always tell people concentrate on one or two things to do at one time, and then that way you're not overloading your brain. So I do hope that helps people. But I think the most important thing is find a few minutes to be quiet, to spend time with yourself, to get to know yourself.
Yeah, excellent point. And it's my point exactly. I'm getting ready to hand this off to you, Coach Para, but I want us to begin to think. I want us to take a moment to step out and say, is the world or our society really telling us to do all of this? Or are we telling ourselves to do this based on our response to the world? Saying, oh, I can do that too, or I can do that, because we do operate in ego. And ego is, especially if we are high achievers or we're very dominant, we have a dominant personality. Some of these things, and this is why it's so important for us to become conscious of taking responsibility. With us being in the financial and looking at all the that really spoke to me, that a lot of people, and also to some of the exchanges I've had with adults over the last few months, is that adults, grown adults, we're not talking about in their 30s, we're talking about 50s, 60s, and up. I noticed in their response to certain things a deflect from taking responsibility. And so I want to address that. Are we taking responsibility for putting this on ourselves, and saying that society is saying this, but this is our life. We can own it. We don't have to do what society says. We can hear it, because back in the day, I know that, my parents was like, yeah, everybody else is doing that, but we ain't doing that. Right? So when do we begin to take responsibility for our own response to society, just response to our friends? Because the next in the boot camp, interfering with your financial goals, in the sense that, are they asking you for help financially? Do you know how to tell them no? Because you have your financial goals. So when do we begin to say to society and everything that we're hearing, that external influence, to say, no, we're not doing that? And I think that that's what you were talking when you said boundaries, is setting those boundaries that are necessary. And I love what you do, Teresa, when you introduce our consciousness to the heart, is because our heart does tell us when our heart starts racing, hey, something's alert, something's going on here. And when we're paying attention to that, instead of calming ourselves down or using some kind of, we tell ourselves, wait a minute, we've done a lot. Enough is enough. I need to chill out. I need to take a moment, like you said, use the exercise of the breathing technique, and reconnect with yourself. That's us taking responsibility. And so, Coach Para, you are an advocate for physical health, being fit, being healthy. Talk to us in regards to the spillover effect. We set healthy goals, but there when we go outside the house, the minute we step outside the house, or people step around us, all of a sudden now those goals are challenges, our choices are challenged, our decisions are challenged because now everybody wants to eat this, or someone wants you to go here. And then you're like in a point where, do I go to the gym? Do I eat what they're eating, or do I keep eating what I'm eating? So speak to us about your position on that.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me as well, Marissa. I love, coming and being able to share. So I really feel that, people are just caught up in that hamster wheel of life, right? And they're just going, 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 going. And to your point, Dr. Teresa, they don't stop and listen to their heart. They don't stop and say, oh my gosh, like I'm really stressed out. When your hands are shaking, when you're a little flush, you're not realizing it because you're stuck. And the way that you're going to get unstuck is by going in and taking a moment just to connect with self. Now, when it comes to that physical fitness, when we're in this hamster wheel, there's a lot of energy being pushed on us, and we need to release that energy. And the only way that you're going to be able to really release that energy is to get out and get active. Move your body, right? Start releasing that. Get out there and laugh. I mean, I get out there and I just shake myself and I start laughing because that's releasing that energy so you can calm. You're going to feel that heart. You might get a little up for a minute because you're excited, but then it brings you back down to that calming place. So you really need to get out there, get the body moving, get out in nature, go ground. I'm an advocate for people grounding. And what grounding is getting out in grass, spread your feet, spread them toes, and just feel the grass. And just when we're out walking and we're just rushing, we don't even feel the grass. We don't feel the cool, the little blades, going through our toes and things. And that connection is everything for us. We're nature ourselves. I mean, I go out and I hug trees, and I swear people think I am the most crazy person. But when I feel that angst, I go out and I just give myself a moment to take some nice, deep, cleansing breaths. Let me just go hug a tree. You will feel tingles in your body when you go out and you connect in that way. And when you get in the gym and you push yourself just a little bit, your body celebrates that. I mean, that release is everything. I mean, Marissa, I'm watching you out there getting in the gym, doing your thing. And I know I can see it. It gives you a glow when you just take a moment just to take some time for yourself. And now the eating thing, you know what? When people are eating all these different things, what I want you to do is go, is that serving my body? Is that piece of chocolate going to serve my body? Or is that mound of pasta that person is eating, is that serving my body? Or is that hindering me from hitting the goals that I want to hit myself? That's what you have to tap into. I don't care what anybody else is eating. And it's about portions too. If you need to taste it, then just taste it and move on. That's all you got to do. I'm an ice cream freak and I love chocolate. But guess what? It's all in moderation. If I want some ice cream, I go and I get the little Ben & Jerry's little cup, take a few little bites, feel that joy, because that taste on my tongue is just joy. And sometimes we're not connecting to it and saying, okay, this is really giving me life, right? So it's all in just connecting and really just being present in your life. I mean, I've been there. I've felt that overload. And sometimes that overload comes and you don't even know it's coming until it hits you like a freaking ton of bricks. I was having panic attacks in my sleep, y'all. Had no idea what was going on till I finally went and spoke to someone. So also when you're going through this, find a friend, go to a doctor, whoever that person is that you can speak to about what you're going through. You need to speak about it because they might be able to help you, or they may be able to bring you to someone that can also help you through it. So that's my take on it. And I hope that this does help someone out there to just really, again, be present with your body and give it exactly what it needs, which is movement and good food that serves your body.
Wow, that's really good. I love how you talked about working out. Working out has been very good for me in the sense that I process while I'm working out. So I'm always listening to music that motivates me, that inspires me, and also that causes me to do the introspective work. We talked about the work life and spillover effect. We talked about taking responsibility. And during my workout, it's like make sure my body remains healthy and strong. And all I think when I think about being physically fit, I think about it as a necessity. Now, God
Mhm.
forbid any catastrophe happens. If I am overweight, if I have not moved my body, how am I going to help any rescuer rescue me? How am I going to be able to myself rescue myself? Um, Teaching yourself how to abstain from of intermittent fasting. God forbid you're in a catastrophe and you're without food. You need to know how to go without food. You need to train your body. So it's not about vanity when you're thinking about being physically fit.
Right.
It's about responsibility. You're being responsible for yourself and your body. You're being responsible so that, God forbid, anything happens, you're in shape to take care of it. I remember when 9/11 happened, and I said, oh my God, what if you had to run down all those flights of stairs? What if you had to do anything? Being physically fit is not about, ability. And so I share a lot being my age, 55. I'm not diabetic. I don't have high blood pressure. My cholesterol is good. My heart is good. And I never had to take any medication.
Good.
Um, Other than, having a car accident. I didn't even take the pain medication unless I was really in a lot of pain. And it's not that I'm not in pain because I have 3 herniated discs in my back and in my neck.
Mm.
And coming to work out, sometimes it's frustrating because the things that I was athletic when I was younger. Some of the things that I know even at this age I should be able to do, I'm restricted. I can't. However, I do know that I feel good when I'm getting in the gym. I feel it's a time of reflection, Teresa said, getting in touch with my heart, getting in touch with me, and also to reflecting on my choices. Why do I have to run an extra 10, 15 minutes on treadmill because I ate the pasta? you know, uh, we're in a world that we have to take responsibility that if we want certain outcomes in our life, we have to make certain choices, no matter what the influences are, internal or external. We have to wake up and start taking ownership of responsibility of self. You cannot keep blaming others for your this one is doing this and this one is doing that today. It is our life. It's our life, and we have to own it because we're going to give account for it. So, this was very good. I love how you said be present. A lot of people, just like Teresa said early on, are not present. They're just going through, and then they're wondering why they're not happy, they're not
Right.
fulfilled. because you're not in the present. Get out your phones, put the phone down. Just like you said, put your feet in the sand, feel all the grains of the sand, put your feet in the grass, feel them. It's funny because when you said blades, I was thinking about, I was in where you were talking about it. Like I was there. I felt hugging the tree because they tell you to hug trees so that you can get connected with the earth.
Right.
And it's a release. I mean, we have got to tap back into the inner child, not tapping back into being childish,
Right.
but we have to tap back into the inner child where we have fun and there's innocence and fun, not where we're irresponsible and where we really, really begin to enjoy our lives, not be childish and reckless with our lives, but being childlike, innocent, and really being present to enjoy our lives. That's where fulfillment lies. That's where your peace of mind lies. And that's where you can begin to reduce the stress in your life. Um, Teresa, share with us your closing thoughts and then let people know about your book, Healing the Heart from Within.
Thank you, Marissa. I really appreciate what everyone has said this morning. And I think it all comes back to a connection. We're connected to the universe. We're connected to everything. And everything is energy. And at the crudest level, our body, our physical body is energy. And the heart is the largest energy field in our body. So when you connect to your heart, you're connecting to that energy. And when you connect to that energy, you're putting your body in balance. So when all the cells, all the muscles, everything is in balance, that's what good health is about. And taking responsibility for ourselves, for really connecting to ourselves, and to really managing stress is so important. Because you had mentioned, is it society or is it us? I'm going to go out on a limb here. I know, at least in the United States, I think we've been so conditioned to let everyone else take care of us because we feel that we don't know enough, especially in healthcare, to make decisions. And that's really not true. We know it. We have that inner knowing. We just haven't tapped into it because we try to be so logical with the mind, with our brain, and just leaving things up to the experts. When really there's so much, I always tell my clients, it doesn't matter whatever the circumstance or the situation is with your health, with anything, there's always something you can do to help yourself. And that's what my book, Heal Your Heart from Within, is all about. It's all about learning about yourself. It's all about the knowledge and the tools for self-care, for self-love. And it's self-love. When you love yourself is when you take the action. That's a huge part of self-care, is self-love. I don't think that's always, we don't always equate those two together. But when you could, in the book, I give you all the tools: meditation, breathing, exercise, things like yoga, positive emotions, because your belief in your emotions carry a higher, the positive emotions like happiness, joy, gratitude have a higher vibration. And as I said, the body is energy and vibration. The higher the vibration, the greater your body is in tune with itself and in tune with you. And that's really what good health and well-being is all about. Is taking the responsibility for having those emotions, for being at that level to help yourself prevent illness and disease. Because contrary to popular belief, we have some responsibility for about 70% of illness and disease. If a tree falls on you, there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. But If you're not eating properly, if you're not exercising, if you're not paying attention to stress, at some point you will develop diabetes, heart disease. It's almost a given. So why set yourself up for that when you could take the responsibility to turn that around? And even if there's genetics involved, genetics is still just a small piece. You could still turn that around. And we need to take the responsibility for ourselves. And really, that's what my book is all about. And people could reach me at wellbeing, all one word, WELLBEINGTAL.com. And I give them resources, teach them about how to get in touch with yourself, how to connect to your heart, and how to really live from your heart on a day-to-day basis and reap all the rewards.
That's excellent. And I'm going to tell you, it's it's interesting that you say that because my family has a history of diabetes and high blood pressure. And I don't have that. My mom had diabetes. I don't have diabetes. My aunt has diabetes. I don't have diabetes. And so you don't have to own that. That's not your inheritance. That's not, you don't have to have that. You just don't. And so it's up to us. It's our choices, our decisions that we make that impact our results. We're not 100% our parents. There is a portion of us that is us. It's our journey. And so we don't have to have that. So, Tiffany, your closing thoughts.
I definitely do have to agree with Dr. Tree said. It is all about that self-love, right? It starts there. When you go on any type of, journey, I mean, that fitness journey, whether it be physical, mental, spiritual, financial, you still have to have that self-love. That's everything. So really, everyone, just tap into that self-love. Don't worry about what other people say about the things that you're doing. You do what you have to do for you. And your body is going to tell you exactly what you need. Exactly what you need. My body told me when I was going into that diabetic state, my body let me know. I wasn't at the time awake to know, but now I am. So just really tap into your bodies. Your body will tell you 100% what is going on. And you're so right, both of you. It is not about the DNA. It's not. Okay, because my family has a history of diabetes, has a history of heart disease, has a history of all sorts of different things. But guess what? I don't. Because of the way that I have tuned in and tapped into my own body. And I have said out there to the universe and to my body, this ain't gonna happen. We're gonna do something different now. Okay. So just believe that, know that. And when you are in that stressful state, just go, you know what? Ooh, wait a second. I'm stressed. That means that my body is now in dis-ease. What I just say, y'all, dis-ease is disease, right? You can create so many different things in your body, diabetes, cancer, all those different things. But guess what? If it does hit, you don't have to own that. You don't have to own it. Okay. So just have that love. I love you. And I'm sending that ultimate love out to you. And I hope you receive that. And I hope that you tap into that and just start to have that love for yourself. If you want to connect with me, you can connect with me at either email me, Phoenix Fitness Fanatics Magazine at gmail.com, or you can just Google Coach Tiffany Parra and I will come up. You can tap in with me on anthologies that we're writing. If you're someone that wants to share your story, you want to just release some weight, or if you just want to find that self-love and you need somebody to help you tap in, hit your girl up.
Awesome. I just want to say you guys really closing us out so well with that self-love, the importance of self-love, because self-love, when you do love yourself, you do take responsibility, and you take ownership. of how you're going to be treated or to treat you. And that's so important for us to take that time to really love ourselves. And that takes us consciously making the decision to, like Teresa said, step aside from the world and get connected with yourself. And make sure that everything's okay with you. And so that's been our segment for today. And we thank you so much, very much for being with us. We have been focusing on the work life and the spillover effect, life spilling over into work and work spilling over to life, and how we take responsibility of our involvement and how that plays out. So this has been It's Your Life, Own It, Motivational Moments with Marissa, and our contributing writers for the Own It magazine and publishing, and editor-in-chief, Tiffany. This has been great. Thank you so very much. Until next time, have an amazing week.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.